l'Académie Chap, Éducation Plus, du cours de la 6e en terminale, en podcast.
Lesson 2, Present Tenses. Part 1. The simple present. A. Formation. A. Affirmative. In affirmative, simple present tense has one form for all persons. It is formed with the infinitive without two of the main verb, except the third person of singular where s is added to the infinitive without two of the main verb. For example, to read a book. I read a book. You read a book. He, she reads a book. We read a book. You read a book. They read a book. B. Negative. The negative is formed by putting do not, does not before the infinitive without two of the main verb. For example, to cry. I do not cry. You do not cry. He, she does not cry. We do not cry. You do not cry. They do not cry. C. Interrogative. To form the interrogative of simple present, we invert the subject and the auxiliary do, does. For example, to call. Do I call? Do you call? Does he, she call? Do we call? Do you call? Do they call? D. Negative interrogative. The negative interrogative is formed by putting not after subject of the interrogative. For example, to study. Do I not study? Do you not study? Does he, she not study? Do we not study? Do you not study? Do they not study? And B. Do not and does not can be contracted in don't and doesn't. For example, I don't speak Arabic, she doesn't work. B. Spelling of the third person singular. As a general rule, the third person singular of the simple present takes s. For example, she runs, he sleeps, it works. But, 1. When a verb ends in o, s, say, z, ch, sh, s, is added. For example, he goes, she dresses, it mixes, it buzzes, she teaches, he washes. 2. When a verb ends in y preceded by a vowel, simple, s, is added. For example, he plays, she buys. B. A consonant, change y into a and add s. For example, she tries, he carries, the baby cries. And B. All auxiliaries have only one form for all persons, except to be, to have and to do. For example, I, you, he, she, it, we, they can, may, must, could, etc. But, I am, you are, he is, we are, you are, they are. I have, you have, he, she, it has, we, you, they have. I do, you do, he, she, it does, we, you, they do. C. Use of the simple present. The simple present is used, 1. To express a habitual action, an action that is often repeated or happens regularly, a habit or custom. Such sentences have often, a. Time expressions such as every day, every morning, every week, every month, and every year, etc. For example, she plays the piano every morning. He goes to the pictures every week. B. Frequency adverbs such as always, usually, generally, often, sometimes, never, occasionally, etc. came immediately before the main verb. For example, I always have tea for breakfast. She often goes to the pictures. 2. To express a general truth, a statement or a fact that is true at all the times. For example, the earth moves round the sun. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. The sun rises in the cast. 3. To express short action, For example, he jumps over the fence. We fall into the water. 4. With non-action verbs. A. Verbs expressing states of feeling such as to love, to hate, to care, to like, etc. For example, how do you like your new job? She loves books, we hate music. B. Verbs expressing mental states such as to think, to believe, to realize, to recognize, to understand, to remember, to know, etc. For example, does she understand English? Do you know that girl's name? C. Verbs expressing the functions of senses such as to see, to hear, to taste, to feel, etc. For example, I see a man in the garden. Do you hear something? 5. To tell a story that sounds more dramatic in the present than in the usual past form, historic present. For example, he walks slowly to the checkout and puts his bag on the counter. As the cashier opens the till, he draws a gun. 6. To express a planned future action which can be regarded as certain to take place. The future is shown by an adverb of time. For example, I go to London tomorrow. We leave for Aberc Wednesday. NB. The main non-progressive verbs are those expressing state of feeling and mental state, to be, to hear, to believe, to own, to need, to like, to forget, to see, to think, to exist, to have, to want, to love, to remember, to understand, to possess, to prefer, to hate, to know, to belong, etc. Part 2. The present continuous or progressive. A. Formation. 1. In affirmative, the present continuous or progressive is formed with the appropriate form of the auxiliary to be in the simple present and the participle, ing form, of the main verb. For example, I'm eating lunch at the restaurant. She is crying. 2. The negative is formed by putting not after the auxiliary of the affirmative statement. For example, they are not calling. It is not working. 3. The interrogative is formed by inverting subject and auxiliary of the affirmative statement. For example, are they dreaming? Is crying? 4. The negative interrogative is formed by putting not after the subject of interrogative form. For example, are we not calling? Isn't she working? B. Spelling of the ing form. General rule, infinitive without to plus ing. For example, to work, work plus ing equals working. To go, go plus ing equals going. To ski, ski plus ing equals skiing. To hurry, hurry plus ing equals hurrying. But 1. When a verb ends in a silent T, this silent T is dropped and ing is added. For example, to love, love plus ing equals loving. To hate, hat plus ing equals hating. To have plus ing equals having. 1. When a verb ends in a, e changes into y and i.n.g. is added. To die, d plus y plus i.n.g. equals dying. To lie, l plus y plus ing equals lying. But to die, die plus ing equals dying. 2. When a verb consists only of one syllable and ends in a single consonant preceded by a short vowel, the final consonant is doubled and i.n.g. is added. To stop, top plus p plus ing equals stopping. To run, run plus n plus ing equals running. 3. When a verb of two or more syllables ends in a single consonant preceded by a short vowel and the last syllable is streaked, the final consonant is doubled and i.n.g. is added. For example, to refer, refer plus r plus ing equals referring. To admit, Admit plus T plus ing equals admitting. But, to cover, cover plus ing equals covering. To enter, enter plus ing equals entering. To develop, develop plus ing equals developing. Exception, to handicap, handicap plus P plus ing equals handicapping. To kidnap, kidnap plus P plus ing equals kidnapping. To worship, worship plus P plus ing equals worshipping. 4. A final L preceded by a simple vowel is always doubled. For example, to travel, travel, plus ing equals traveling. To fulfill, fulfill plus L plus ing equals fulfilling. Except, to parallel, parallel plus ing equals paralleling. 5. A verb ending in C preceded by a single vowel takes K before ing is added. For example, to picnic, picnic plus K plus ing equals picnicking. To panic, panic plus K plus ing equals panicking. To mimic, mimic plus K plus ing equals mimicking. C. Use of the present continuous or progressive. The present continuous is used, 1. For an action happening now, for an action of limited duration, real present. For example, I am going to theatre. He's reading an English novel. It's raining. They are reading an English book. 2. For an arranged action in the near future. For example, we are flying to Glasgow tomorrow. She is sending you money on yesterday. A temporary activity even if it is not happening at the time when we are talking. For example, I'm studying German at college. B. A changing state or situation. For example, my headache is getting better. And B. A. Modal auxiliaries are not used in progressive form. For example, I must go to the dentist. B. Non-action verbs are not usually conjugated in progressive form. For example, I see a man in the garden. But, I'm seeing John tomorrow equals meeting, visiting. I'm seeing her off at the airport equals saying goodbye to. Verbs not normally used in continuous tenses. The continuous tenses are chiefly used for deliberate actions. Some verbs are, therefore, not normally used in the continuous and have only one present tense, the present tense. These verbs are grouped as follows. D. Verbs of the senses, involuntary actions, feel, hear, smell, also notice, and observe, equals notice, and feel, look, taste used as link verbs. Verbs such as gaze, listen, look, at, observe, equals watch, stare and watch imply deliberate use of the senses, and can be, of course, be used in the continuous tenses. For example, I'm watching but I don't see anything unusual. He is listening to a tape, but he's wearing earphones and nobody else hears it. E. Verbs expressing feeling and emotions, admire, equals respect, adore, appreciate, equals value, care for, equals like, desire, detest, fear, hate, like, loathe, love, mind, equals care, respect, value, want, wish, act, value.
10e en terminale, podcast, académie, chat, éducation, plus des cours de la 6e en terminale, podcast.